Do you remember the first song that was played at our wedding?
I do. It was Gold Digger by Kanye West.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show. Welcome to Tosh Show. I'm Daniel Tosh, and I'm wearing a suit, but not just any suit. This was the suit that I wore on my wedding day, and it still fits. Can you believe it? Oh, yeah, double standard. There's no praise for men that stay in shape throughout their marriage. Women, if they can squeeze their morphed bodies back into their dress, it's like, oh, unbelievable. But I do it. No big deal. Anyway, I'm excited, Eddie. Are you excited?
I'm excited. So tell the people why you're wearing the suit.
I'm wearing the suit because this is going to be the week that I interview my wife. This will be the single longest podcast episode we have ever put out. Now, how do I know it's the longest? Well, because I've lived with this woman, and I have an idea that even if the conversation doesn't time out to be the longest, it will certainly feel like it.
Oh, okay.
But I'm excited. And I know the fans are excited. You keep telling me this is the one guest they want.
Overwhelmingly.
And it's so weird because when you meet her, you're just like, I don't get it.
I don't know that's true, but
No. She's an acquired taste.
All right, let's jump to the comments. Wonder what gift Tosh will give his wife if she comes on the show.
I'll give her the gift of listening to her for an hour. Huh? Bada bing, bada boom. I'll tell you what I'm going to give her. I'm going to give her, I'm not, no spoilers here, but I think I knocked it out of the park.
I was thinking Tosh had the perfect life, and then I find out his wife doesn't like sandwiches. It's like saying you don't enjoy charcuterie. It's impossible.
Yeah, no, I certainly don't have the perfect life or the perfect wife. But you know what? Not bad. I don't believe there is such a thing as the perfect wife, unless you're married to Margot Robbie or any of those thick bitches on Instagram. Yeah, now she doesn't like sandwiches. It is confusing. And we get in fights about it constantly because I love a sandwich. She likes a salad, but she doesn't get excited about it, but she'll eat the salad.
Seems like she's got a bread issue.
I mean, I find it maddening how much she hates sandwiches, but she does love charcuterie. Oh, she loves a charcuterie board. This bitch will eat cheese all day and night. Just loves cheese.
Are you saving your wife Carly's interview for the season finale?
Ooh, that would be a good idea. But we don't do seasons, okay? We do options. And currently, we're in the middle of option 2.
When you interview your wife, I want you both to ask questions to each other.
That is a terrible suggestion, and we will not do that. This is my show. Now, if she gets a podcast, I won't go on it.
Not gonna be a guest.
There's no chance. And I don't want anybody accusing me of being a cradle robber. Because while my wife is much younger, she is no longer young. Enjoy. Tosh Show. This interview is going to be difficult because I find it hard to listen to the words coming out of my guest's mouth. But the fans have demanded this. She's a poet, a television writer, and a former employee who became a potential HR nightmare before becoming the mother of my children. It's my beautiful, charming, brilliant wife. Please welcome Mrs. Daniel Tosh, a.k.a. Carly.
Hi.
Have you ever been called Mrs. Daniel Tosh?
Probably at our wedding. No, maybe not, because they were speaking Italian and...
No one knew what they were saying.
Yeah.
Be honest, before you were asked to be a guest on the show, were you aware that I have a podcast?
Yes, I hear you editing at all hours, different corners of the house.
Editing? There's no editing on this show.
Oh.
This is just one conversation.
Yes.
Now, you are Carly Hallam Tosh, but your maiden name was Carly Elizabeth Hallam.
Yes.
Why did you change your name?
Because I was young.
You wouldn't have changed it now?
I don't know. I don't know if I've become more of a feminist or if I just think what I thought then, which was like, oh, we want to have the same names like as our kids and everything like that. Maybe I feel less strongly about that now. I still kind of go between both names, I would say.
That's rude.
Hallam is my last name.
You're telling me that just the novelty of having my last name has worn off. By the way, Hallam on paper reads like you're anti-American.
Yes. I did have actually a poetry teacher in college who, when she called roll, she would say, Carly Eliz Alam, like that.
I don't know if you're supposed to do that voice.
This is an impression.
Right. Well, that's what impressions are. They're cancelable.
Not in this administration.
Let me just say that I felt uncomfortable when she did it. And I was like, but am I going to correct her and tell her, like, no, say it way more Florida white trashy?
It's Hallam.
Hallam.
Not Hallam.
Hallam is not the way.
Beautiful name. By the way, are you the loudest person you know?
Maybe. Besides our children.
I mean, this has got to be piercing to some of our listeners. I feel like you're purposely not trying to scream today.
Well, you just haven't got me riled up yet.
Yeah, I mean, she's really loud. Dylan, you're going to have to be quick on the trigger over there. Get your ears blasted off. Her voice really it's piercing and it travels. I actually hesitated to interview you because I am terrified to find out the answer to some of the questions that have been written. All right, here we go. Do you believe in ghosts?
I do not.
I know. You've never believed in ghosts, have you?
No.
But you used to be very spiritual.
Yes, I did go to church. I'm afraid to answer these questions.
Why?
I don't know.
Because you know my mom's
family,
listening?
yeah.
Your family?
Both of our families. Yes. Many Sundays spent in church.
Not with
and then
your
Sunday evenings at youth group. We always went to church growing up.
No, you didn't.
CCUCC, Community Congregational United Church of Christ.
You went with your friend's family that was actually religious.
Well, Jen Skamaka's dad was the pastor, but my whole family went there.
I thought your family didn't go. Your
no,
dad
that's
stayed
not
at
true.
home.
We always went.
Doesn't seem like your dad says that.
Nah, he was there. He doesn't have a great memory.
Nope. No, he doesn't. Did you know growing up that you'd never stay in Florida?
Maybe not until high school. Before that, I thought Florida was amazing. I was like full gung-ho Florida. And then I remember it kind of like occurring to me that people outside of Florida didn't think Florida was as fascinating as everyone inside of Florida thought it was. Even like studying abroad, I remember people being like, where are you from? And I was like, Florida. And then I sort of like waited for a reaction.
You thought it was cool.
Right. And then like the Italians on the bus would be like, Disney?
When I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, and my parents told us that we were moving to Florida, I cried.
Okay.
I sobbed. As a sixth grader, I sobbed. And I'm like, they're pussies. They can't handle the cold. Like, I was just like, this is miserable. I cannot believe we're having to go to Florida. That's where old people die.
When you're in it, that's not how you.
Then I moved to Florida and I loved it too. You know, until I started the allergies and all of that nonsense. So you were born in Florida. You were born in Stuart.
Yes.
Did your father force you to go to UF?
No, it was the only place I applied, the only place I wanted to go, because I grew up going there, going to the games.
But you were the valedictorian of your high school.
Yes.
You don't think you could have? UF is a great public school, but don't you think you could have gotten into like a fancy Ivy League school?
In hindsight, yes, probably. But I didn't even try. I just wanted to go to the University of Florida. I did early decision.
Could have your dad afforded you going to Harvard?
I mean, not without some assistance.
I think he would have made it happen. You just never gave him a chance. I bet he would have been more proud. You don't think he'd have been more proud bragging about Harvard than he is? Oh,
maybe,
look.
But he loves to be able to say how many family members went to UF.
I know. Your youngest brother is the only one that failed him. And then he's always talking about his tombstone. Like 3 out of 4 ain't bad. He wants to write that on it. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Now, you have a great relationship with your father and mother?
Yes.
Who are you more partial to?
I love them both.
Yeah, but you and your mother are like an unhealthy.
I talk to my mom more, definitely.
Every single day.
No, I don't talk to her every single day.
You talk to your mom constantly.
I talk to my mom often.
Have you ever called your father?
I call him from time to time.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it's rare.
Right. Who calls your father more, me or you?
Yeah, probably you. You might call them both more. I mean, we FaceTime them now and just like
Right.
The whole family
We
talks.
FaceTime on my phone because I got the plus. I got the bigger phone.
Yeah.
That's more FaceTime. Also, you let the kids walk around with the phones. I don't ever let them touch my phone. If the kid touches my phone, I go, don't touch my phone. Can't stand kids touching the phone. Drives me nuts. Who do you like more, my mom or my dad?
It's impossible to choose.
I think my dad says I love you to you more than I've ever heard him say I love you to me in my entire life.
Yeah.
The
picture you have painted of him is not the Dan I know.
Right. You met my father once he got to an age where he just became an old softy. And, he's just a happy, content, retired man.
And your mom, we just send them pictures of the kids, and she writes back the exact same thing every time, which is, thank you for sending.
Yeah, that's not funny, but it is what she
It's
says.
a funny response.
By the way, why do you bleed so much?
I'm disease-ridden.
You don't wear your medical ID bracelet.
No, that's not
When
cool.
did you stop wearing your medical ID bracelet?
Maybe high school. For a while, I had like an embarrassing like silver chain one with like a snake that was red, just so like everyone in elementary and middle school would know I was weird. And then in high school, I found this website where they did like fancy medic alert bracelets, and I ordered like a beaded one, and I thought that was cool for a while, cooler than the other one. But then it was just like everybody always asks you about it. And
Well, you hate
have to
talking
talk
about it.
I hate talking about it. It's
But
just
it's
not that interesting.
You say it's not interesting, but yet it consumes our life constantly.
That's fair. But not because it's interesting, because it's annoying and it's just like a thing that's always...
explain to people. You have von Willebrand's disease.
Yes, von
Type 2 severe.
Yep.
I have it all on my phone for when shit goes down. When we get the inevitable car accident, I gotta like tell who's ever trying to save you, like she needs humate pee.
Yes.
How was your first period?
It was bad. Very bad. My first period just kept going forever.
And then they shut you down for the rest of your life.
Yeah, then I started taking a couple birth control pills a day, like 3 or 4.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. You want to be in high school taking a lot of birth control pills.
I'll be honest, if I got wind of it, if I was in high school, I would be like, that's the girl.
That's her, yeah. She is impossible to impregnate.
Right. You think that whenever I call your name, explain to people the inflection.
There's just one inflection. So it's impossible to know if you're mad at me. Also, our dog's name is Carl. So just around the house, it's like, Carly, Carl. And like sometimes I'll come running into the room and I'll think like our child is like bleeding on the floor. And you'll be like, did you see the last shot that Djokovic made? Like it's like just nothing important whatsoever, but like a scream.
Why weren't you watching
across
them?
the house?
You act like you want to watch tennis with me, but you're never paying attention. That's a bigger issue. Speaking of not wearing your medical ID bracelet ever, you also don't wear your wedding ring.
I meant to put it on. That was going to be the last thing I did before I left the house.
You have any idea how much that ring cost?
Vaguely.
Yeah. How about the engagement ring? You know how much that cost?
Oh, I thought that's what we were talking about. I never wear the wedding ring.
The wedding ring is just iced out too.
Band. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I could wear that more.
You never wear that.
Well, I don't really double them up because I have like stubby little fingers. And when they're together, I feel like smoshed and like claustrophobic. And so
You're a very claustrophobic person.
yeah, like right now I feel a little bit claustrophobic.
Sometimes like she'll just panic and have to start like run. She has to run to her closet to take off her clothes because she's freaking out at the clothes you're. By the way, just talking about it, I probably could induce claustrophobia. Yeah, you're wearing a wetsuit top today, so that's interesting.
It's cute though, right?
You look beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, tell everybody how we met. Because like all great love stories, it involves a 20-something's job interview with 3 middle-aged men. By the way, I resent the jokey question because I wasn't middle-aged. I was 32. Anyway, go on. How do we meet?
Okay, I went to interview at Tosh.0. At the time, I was secretly living in Florida. I was pretending like I was living in Los Angeles, but I wasn't.
Immediately lied to us.
It all started with a lie, yes. And I went to the interview, and there were 2 Scots.
You're starting to hear a voice now. It's starting to pick up, right?
We're getting it.
All right, go on.
I thought I was doing well in the interview. Like I was trying to be
Was I in the
clever.
interview the whole
You
time?
were not there, no.
Okay.
Just me and 2 Scots. And I was answering the questions, kind of funny and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you walked in with like this dark cloud over you. You were wearing a beanie. I remember exactly your vibe. You were like just mad when you walked in the room.
I'm at work. Who
Yeah.
the fuck is happy at work?
Uh-huh.
Everybody wants people to be always chipper all the time. It's just annoying. Anyway, all
So
right.
it's like I inconvenienced you by you coming in. So you come in and you're holding Castro and you sit down in
My
the corner.
beautiful R.I.P. Castro, my wonderful dog. Oh, man. Okay, I was holding Castro.
Okay, Castro jumps out of your lap and like runs over and jumps into mine. But I was like in the middle of answering a question.
Oh, I'm sure
And so
it
I
was
didn't
compelling.
really like acknowledge Castro. And I just kept going and whatever. And then like, a couple sentences later,
No, it
you were
wasn't
like,
sentences.
whatever, a few words
It was
later.
30 minutes later.
30 minutes later.
My first thing out of my mouth.
Yes, this
was-
is the first time you talked.
This is the first time I spoke.
Mm-hmm. You
I
were like,
said,
you don't like dogs,
you don't like
you?
dogs, do you?
Uh-huh, with like that face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Castro was just being so sweet, and she like literally like wouldn't even put a hand, like not even
I
pet
was
his
like
head.
focusing on my interview.
Trying to
It's
get a
just-
job.
Listen,
I also am not a person that's like, oh, your dog, I want to pet it. Like,
Right.
I don't care.
and I'm like
other people's
this
dogs.
lady who's lying about where she lives. You're telling the story of the first time we met at the job interview. I could have sworn we met at Dane Cook's game night when you were 11 years old. Wouldn't that be funny? By the way, you leave the interview and we have this conversation, and maybe, I don't know, was it hours later or a day later that you wrote a letter to us?
I wrote an email like a thank you for the interview, and then I attached an apology letter to Castro.
To my dog for not liking him.
And I said, please pass this along.
Uh-huh.
I actually found that letter the other day.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cute.
It said, like, I liked your fur. I hope you found some things that you liked about me, too. It was written, like, dog level.
First of all, Havanese don't have fur; they have hair.
Yeah.
I was like this. I go give her the job. That's funny. I don't care if somebody doesn't like my dog. Fast forward, you were next to Castro as they were injecting poison into him 10 years later from
10
that
years
interview.
almost to the day. Yes. And I was bawling because I loved Castro. He was my dog.
And they killed him.
Yep.
He slept on your face every night of his life.
Yeah.
You really want my the fans of this show to just embrace you. Tell everybody how much you hate Carl.
I find him very obnoxious. I don't hate him. He's sweet, but the barking is like, it's too much for me.
You were interviewing, people don't know this about Tosh.0. The reason Tosh.0 was created, or the reason that Comedy Central wanted the show to exist, was because they wanted their website to have a presence. They wanted to compete with Funny or Die, and they were getting no traffic. So they basically, like the TV show was its own thing that was kind of cheap and crappy, which it was. And they're like, but we want you guys to have this blog that people actually travel to. So you were in charge of all the content and creating the blog, and you made it hugely successful.
Yeah, this is when blogs were big.
When blogs were big.
Yeah.
So you were hired and you'd lied. You were in Florida. And so then you quickly moved.
I was at Iguanamia
What's
in
that?
Bonita Springs. It's a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, nice.
And
What were
Bill
you
Wright
eating?
called me, probably nachos.
Uh-huh.
Bill Wright called. I walked outside and he was like, it was a Wednesday. And he was like, can you start tomorrow? And I was like, tomorrow? I am busy, but I can start on Monday. And I was freaking out because I did not live in Los Angeles.
He also
I lived in Bonita Springs,
He
Florida.
said, hey, the money is bad.
And he goes, yeah, the money is bad. But then he said, it must have been $700. I don't know.
Right, and
I was
you
like,
went.
what?
And you thought it
It
was the
sounded
most
like so much money to
Oh,
me. Yeah.
so green. You were
And
so
then I
green.
walked back inside and I was like, I got a job. I have to move to Los Angeles in the next 3 days.
Now, the first few years that you worked there, I don't think I ever spoke to you.
We didn't speak.
Yeah. I don't mix business and pleasure. Okay? That's not my
There
move.
was one time when we were at a meeting.
Uh-huh.
I was sitting on the floor and there was a poster of Julia Roberts on the floor next to me. And you went out of nowhere in the middle of the meeting, you went, you're prettier than Julia Roberts, but in like a really awkward, weird way.
Well, there's a
That might have been the
comparative.
first time you ever talked to me. I was like, okay.
It was just like, you're looking at this movie star. There's a big photo of this movie star and you were right sitting next to her. I was like, look at this. Like, you're prettier than that movie star. But anyway, that's probably inappropriate. I probably shouldn't have said something like that. But yet you were still in a room full of dudes. And then you became a writer on the show. You wrote on the show. And then we started dating.
Yeah.
Oh,
secretly.
No. We secretly dated,
Yeah.
and then you immediately, or not immediately, but you basically just quit.
What? So much time passed. You fast forwarded like
A year?
at least a year.
Okay. A year.
I think we secretly dated for a full year.
But then you quit. Why did you quit?
Because I wanted to go write on a scripted show.
And you went over to Andy Samberg's show.
I did. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Is what we did wrong? Or is dating, were we not
depends on
allowed to
if
date each other?
I think, no, we weren't allowed. But it was such a small office, and so many people were dating, but probably mine was the worst, obviously, since you were the host.
When you say we weren't allowed, what does that mean? I don't understand.
They didn't want the
I get that they don't
intermingling.
want it.
And you're supposed to like report it to HR or something. I don't know. If
Who's
we had an
supposed to
HR.
report it?
The people in the relationship.
But then then they say, okay,
I
you
don't
can
know.
date.
I'm not sure what the actual rules are, but
You're not allowed
then
to
a lot of marriages and babies came out of that, you know? So
forget I'm just in general. When people say you're not supposed to date somebody at work, I'm like, well, I don't go out at night, so I don't get to meet somebody.
yeah, I know. We all spend all of our time together. That's why it's hard not to end up dating somebody.
How many times have you seen me shit myself?
Quite a few.
Early on one of our first dates.
Yes.
On one of our first dates, I had to slam on the brakes on the PCH and just run down a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back and like I didn't have any underwear and I didn't have a shirt anymore.
And then you rolled down the windows and you were like, we're not talking about it. And you like drove back home.
But even before that, one of our very first dates,
Yeah.
I said, hey,
That was our first date.
What's that?
When you said that you were feeling sick.
Yes.
Yes, that was our first date.
First
at
date.
Bowie. Yeah.
I said, I'm feeling sick. I think we should get going.
Mm-hmm.
And we went home
Mm-hmm.
and then I excused myself, went to the bathroom, and then I came back and, you know.
And then you like started making out with me.
Right. And you're like, I thought you were
like,
sick.
Yeah.
And I go, you don't know what sick means.
But no one else says that. No one else is like, I'm feeling sick. That means I have like horrible diarrhea. I've never heard anyone say that
Well, it
besides
sounds
you.
way better than I didn't know you well enough to be like I have horrible diarrhea. I just said, I don't feel well. I don't.
Uh-huh.
But then I felt fine. I was ready to go.
One time, somewhat recently, I went to go walk into the garage.
No, you don't need to share that. Who is the best lover you've ever been with?
You, of course.
Mm-hmm. You're the only person I've ever been with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
so sweet.
yeah. You wish I would be a little more like let people know just how strong our love is?
No, thank you.
You want to make out on camera? I think people would be able to tell like our chemistry and our passion
Yeah, probably.
if we were to make out.
Yeah. I bet.
You think about it.
Okay.
You think of it. The offer's on the table, and as people of this show know, I don't like to put things on this table, but I would love to throw you up on this table in a fit of passion.
Maybe at the end.
Just make out with you. What is your worst quality?
My worst quality?
What do you think I think is your worst quality?
Worst. Because I can think of a bunch. But to pick one that is the worst.
Well, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's physical.
My posture.
Yep.
That was actually going to be what I said, but then I was like, certainly there's something worse than my posture.
No, there's not.
Which is excellent.
It's great right now. First of all, I've never seen you look so pretty with your hair so pretty, dressed up. I mean, it's just so rare.
This isn't what I look like at home.
You wear the same.
I love a pair of sweatpants.
The grossest
Yeah.
sweatpants every day of your life. And then you force me, I have to, like a lot of relationships, it's like we have once a month, we have date night. Some couples do it once a week. Now, here's what I do. I wait until the end of the year at about, December. And I'm like, oh, hey, we need to go out 12 times.
Yeah, the once a month thing hasn't really worked.
No, don't shackle me.
Mm-hmm. I just want you to want to take me out, without the once a month thing.
Do you guys date? You have date night?
Well, I have 3
Not
kids.
like a specific
Very-
night.
You don't have it. You don't
No.
have a, Eddie doesn't have a date night. You two, Dylan, you've been married for 6 minutes. You already have you're forced to go on date nights?
Not forced.
Oh, how
Oh,
romantic.
Jeez. Okay, but so do you do it once a week?
A few times a month.
You don't have kids. Fuck off.
Yes, seriously.
I mean, I like to go out with you. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. I like to go to a restaurant.
You do
and
make
eat.
it sound like a chore.
I don't know. It's just, well, once you say I have to do it, it's like the dentist. It's like, oh, every 6 months I have to do this. Your posture's your worst quality.
Mm-hmm.
And then not
Voice.
physical, your voice,
Mm-hmm.
and then your name.
Oh, yeah, you don't like the name Carly. Yeah.
I was like, Carly. Well, I think what's
You think my siblings' names are cool, and mine is bad.
her siblings all have cool names. A Taylor, Chase, Jordan, Carly. If you were to give me, that seems like the example question on the SATs.
Which one doesn't belong?
Which one of these names is batshit stupid?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying Daniel's a good name, although it's biblical. Is Carly biblical?
I believe I'm named after Carly Simon.
Oh, it's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Do you remember when we first started dating at the end of meals, what I used to do to gross you out?
Put your hand into the food and then just like
I used to
stick it in your mouth.
I used to just put my hands all in the
Yeah.
food, like when I was finished.
Yeah,
and
I
just
think
start
you would do that like around my family. Yeah.
It's such a funny bit. I have stopped doing it. I got to bring the bit back now that I have children.
Yeah, honestly.
They would
The
lose
kids
their
would love
mind.
it. Yeah.
So at the end of meals, like we would be at a restaurant and I'd be like, "Are you finished with that?" And she'd be like, "Yeah." And like, let's just, I can't, let's say she had shrimp and grits. I would just take my hands and put them in the grits and just start going like this and just sit and keep talking to her. And she would just be like, "What in the H is happening?" Oh, it was fun times. That was a good bit.
Do you remember when we were at Cholada? We ordered the golden bags.
By the way, R.I.P. Cholada, burnt down in the last fire. It was a Thai place that we used to go to.
Like a little beach shack. Very cute.
Very cute. I hope they rebuild it. Anyway, what were you saying about it?
We ordered these appetizers called golden bags, and they were like a little fried bag that looked like kind of like a knapsack. And you stuck a toothpick in one, and you stuck it over your shoulder, and you were like, "I'm waiting for my ride." And I was like, "I have to marry this weirdo." Like, what's happening?
I had a little bindle.
It was like the dumbest thing I've ever seen anyone do.
I was a little
At a date.
hobo with my little Thai bindle.
And I just
if
appreciated
I appreciate you remember that, but those things look so stupid.
They look like little knapsacks.
Yeah. You remember when we first started dating and you asked me, I was doing some of your laundry, and like, "Hey, don't dry that one shirt." And I sent you a photo, and I had taken all my fingernail and toenail clippings and wrote "I love you" on the shirt as I was making sure that I didn't dry it.
Yeah, you're definitely the strangest person I've ever dated.
No, it was romantic. I got that still. How long have we been married?
9 years. This will be 9 years.
I think that's good that you and I are together because we never, people are like, "How long have you been married?" I'm like, "I have no idea." And like that's not something that would ever upset you, that I have no idea, because I know that you barely know.
Mm. I think the other day I said the date wrong.
It's the 17th.
17th, yeah.
Of
I
April.
said the 16th.
17th.
That's not our anniversary. Yeah. Of April.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I know when it was. Such a magical day. Do you know about the bet Eddie and I made?
Yeah, that you would have fewer than
20 people?
20.
Okay, so when Eddie and I were very young, we made this bet. He's like, I said, when I get married, because Eddie had 2 weddings. He had one on the East Coast and one in Vegas. And I said, when I get married, there's no way I'm going to have more than 20 people. And he's like, "All right, I'll take that action." And so he bet me $5,000, right? It was $5,000. It was a lot of money even back then for us. This is way before I ever had a show or anything like that. Anyway, fast forward to us. We were engaged. And I said to you, "Hey, if you could get married anywhere in the world, but we only had like a dozen people, would that offset it?" And you were like, "Yep."
Mm-hmm.
If we can do Italy. And I was like, boom, cha-ching.
That is a good move.
Your motivations are so
What's that?
unpure. Your motivations.
No,
for
it
that.
wasn't. To be honest with you, I forgot about the bet.
No, you did not. I remember this conversation like right after that. I think we talked about a castle in Ireland or something.
We did.
And then
we did.
started looking at villas in Italy. And then you immediately told me that like it had to be fewer than 20 people.
Yeah. I don't think that's a bad move, guys. I had to make sure Eddie lost. Anybody you would have wanted to leave off the invite list?
Nope.
Anybody you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, Sam wasn't there, which is baffling.
That's Pete's wife.
Yeah.
Wasn't there. Well, listen, you had to make some tough choices, and it was fun watching you make them. I didn't get to bring my brother or my sisters.
Mm, yeah.
I mean, you nixed all my family.
No, that's not true.
My mom and dad, that's the only ones that got to come. By the way, just because you got to come to the wedding too, you didn't actually get to come to the wedding itself.
Yes.
Then there was a smaller group
It went to the service.
of the
That
15 or
watched the
16
ceremony.
people that actually watched us exchange vows.
I got in trouble for that.
From who?
Doesn't matter.
Who didn't get to, of your party?
I think people were like taken aback.
I used to be a monster because in the beginning, Carly she would just let me do some of my crazy stuff. And now she just runs the house. Do you remember the first song that was played at our wedding?
I do. It was Gold Digger by Kanye West. And I thought that the DJ was fucking with me.
The Nazi Kanye West song was the first song at our wedding was Gold Digger. And what was your thought?
I mean, I thought that the DJ was kind of like fucking with me. Like it felt like he was making like a statement about what he thought was going on.
Did he play the whole song?
Yeah. But I mean, it's a good song. So we were all like dancing to it. And this was like pre-Nazi, you know? So we all had fun. But the whole time I was like, why would this be your pick as the very first song at our wedding? Like, I mean, this is after like slow dance, but the first like dance song was like, so like.
But did you pick the songs for the wedding?
No, I think I just said like American pop music or something.
Now, had you not married me, who would have been your second pick at the office for you to have a long-term relationship?
Eddie.
Eddie was married.
Yeah, that's why I went for you.
You would have broke up his marriage. You think you could have infiltrated. Interesting.
Yeah.
Talk about the time Lena Dunham made you cry.
The time Lena Dunham made me cry?
Yeah. Do you remember this?
I don't know.
Okay, then I'll tell the story. Lena Dunham was on Watch What Happens Live or whatever, the Bravo show, and she was asked who the most misogynistic person in Hollywood is. Something to that effect, right? Yeah. And then she kind of was, I don't know what she said exactly, but at one point she was like, Daniel Tosh, not a Harvey Weinstein who's in jail for, she said me. Now, the reason that she said me was because there was a joke on our show around the time that this came out that made fun of her boobs or something like that. And this is what I want to bring up.
Yeah.
You were crying because you're like, how do you think it makes me feel to know that I'm dating somebody that thinks you're the most misogynistic person in Hollywood?
Yeah.
And I was laughing. I was like, well, I'm not the most misogynistic person in Hollywood. The guy that's in jail for raping people, that guy has to be worse, right? The point that I didn't watch Girls. You loved that show.
Yeah.
You wrote the joke.
I wrote the joke.
You wrote the joke that made her say, and I just say the joke. So the point is, you're the most misogynistic man in Hollywood, according to Lena Dunham, who, by the way, didn't she write a book? And wasn't there a chapter about her molesting her sister or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, I don't know why you got upset by that. Am I misogynistic?
No.
No.
I think she would be interested to know that, like, your whole team is women.
I don't think she'd be interested in anything about me. But I wish her the best, and I've never watched Girls. Let's go back to your career for a second. You've always written for male comedians.
Yeah.
Because you're not like you're not a one of the guys. You know, they always think that are like comedy writers. Like, oh yeah. Or like the hot chick. She's like, I can't be friends with girls. That's not you.
No.
No, you're not. All you have is just tons and tons of girlfriends. But yet you write comedy for like dudes. I think
that was my trajectory.
Are you saying that you that wouldn't be your specialty? You could branch out?
Yeah, I'm trying to branch out. I could branch out. But I think, people saw my resume and thought like, oh, she can write this type of joke. And that's how I got certain jobs, yes.
You're writing a script now that's inspired by the relationship between you, me, and your sister.
Yeah.
Are you going to have to soften that? Like, if somebody right now were to be like, we're going to buy this script, Carly, and it's going to be on the air tomorrow, would you have to have a sit down with your sister to be like, okay, we need to talk?
These are fictional characters. One of them vaguely resembles you. One me and one my sister. But they are not us.
I'm not upset by any of the portrayals of me, am I?
everyone is right and everyone is wrong. That's,
Oh, brother.
it's great.
Who would be a perfect cast to play my role?
Well, I was trying to pitch Dave Franco the other day.
Dave Franco.
Yeah.
Is that a good get?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so too.
You must be the hero.
You wrote for Cedric the Entertainer too. Now, I wanted to play F, Marry, Kill with the people that you've worked for. Andy Samberg, Cedric the Entertainer, myself. We know that you married me.
Mm-hmm.
So which one of the other two do you want to make sweet love to?
Cedric's a cool guy. I like him.
Okay. So Cedric it is.
Mm-hmm.
That means Andy gets the axe.
Yep.
But speaking of axe, nobody ever wants to fucking hear their wife tell them about their dreams. It's just nonsense. Okay, my wife has the most psychotic nightmares. Like, she dreams all the time. I had to take an axe and split a guy's head open.
This is only when I'm pregnant.
No.
Mostly when I'm pregnant. Mostly.
Okay, fine. Mostly when you're pregnant. But
Yeah.
but regardless, you have serial killer dreams where you do horrible, violent things to people.
Yeah.
I've never even cracked open a book to see if that means something.
I think that's why Stacy gave me the Book of Dreams. She was haunted by the dream I told her.
What kind of dreams? I mean, honestly, how often do you have those murder dreams?
Like, no, really when I'm pregnant, though. I would always be, like, running from someone, but I would have, like, a weapon, and then I would have to, like, kill someone in my dream. It happened a lot.
Yeah, but, like, not just kill them, like, kill them in a violent way.
A violent way.
I
Yeah.
would always ask, like, will you wake up before you do it? And she's like, no, I'm just chopping their head open.
Like an axe
And I'm
to the
just like,
head.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that disgust me about you that you do, when you were talking about taking birth control, the way you take a pill,
It's deep.
I don't get it. If some people, like, oh, I don't take pills very well, but for her, it doesn't. By the way, it's not just pills. I'll point. She has to take the pill and place it in the back of her throat. Like, she literally, like, if this goes like this. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, stop watching me take pills.
Okay, so here's the thing. That's how you eat too. Whenever you're eating like finger food and breaking a piece off, you don't ever you don't like pop popcorn into your mouth. You place it.
I think I would miss. So I just gotta make sure it gets in there.
Makes no sense. You're a big wine drinker. You love wine. You're constantly drinking wine.
I'm not sure that's
Would you be happier with me if I drank?
happier.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think it would be fun maybe to like share a bottle of wine from time to time. That's why I like push a drink over to you. Like, hey, like the night that I wore this, I think you drank a cocktail. That was cute.
And then
right?
how much diarrhea did
And
I get later?
And then all night long on my birthday.
Yeah, but
you were in the bathroom.
In
I
fairness,
was asleep.
she was dead asleep.
I had no idea what was happening.
Didn't matter. The Imodium wore off around 2 a.m.
The tequila didn't help. The caviar, seafood tower.
It was a big night. Here, let's do this. We're gonna play a little game here. The Newlywed game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What celebrity do people think you look like?
Am I supposed to say it out loud?
Yeah. I mean, you're not. In the Newlywed game, you're supposed to write it down, but I didn't have two boards. So.
Okay, Rachel McAdams. That's who you think I look like. But only because of my very small breasts.
Okay. Rachel McAdams. You really, really went for it there, huh?
I used to be told that all the time, and now I'm not, sadly, ever told that.
What is my biggest pet peeve about you when you're in my car?
That I either put this down or leave it down. This bitch always leaves her visor down. Yeah. It is still in my eyes. We're not the same height, so you can't see what I can see.
I'm talking about when I
in my eyes.
When I turn down a different
Hold
road.
on.
And it's,
you give me like 5 seconds to put it back up. It's not like on my mind. Like, well, we turned. I better bloop.
I don't think I'm 6'4". Like, you realize that our sight lines are. When I look,
You're like the dad that's like, turn the light off in the back. I can't see. It's like, bitch, you can still see. It's fine.
Do I let my kids put the light on in the back?
Yes. But let me leave the visor down.
I put it on a dim setting.
Yeah.
No, that's a blind spot for me when I look to the right.
I don't think so. There's all kinds of cameras on the car.
That's true. What's my nickname for you?
Tuna car car?
Oh, that's right. It was Tuna Car. I was going to say bitch.
Oh.
I forgot we used to call you Tuna Car. We called you Tuna Car at work.
We. I think it's just you. No one else. Well, maybe Joe Borden.
I kept saying it was a fancy tuna. It's a compliment.
Yeah, I don't think a woman
Really
wants to be called
wasn't.
tuna.
Tuna Car was not a bad nickname.
It's so bad.
That's so bad.
Can't pick your own nicknames. They just happen to you.
That's bullshit. You tried to pick your own
I
nickname
tried.
when
It
you were a
didn't work.
kid.
Yeah,
She tried to get people in her school to call her Sweet and Low.
this is true. I was sort of like shopping it around.
Because there was a girl that came in.
There was like an older girl who came to like volunteer at like my 4th grade class or whatever. And she was like, my name is whatever, but everybody calls me Sweet and Low. And I was like, oh my God, that's the coolest nickname I've ever heard. So then I was kind of like trying to ask people to start calling me Sweet and Low because it was very small, way smaller than everyone around me.
Okay. What grade did you skip?
2nd.
You skipped 2nd grade
Yeah.
because you were so smart.
So smart.
Your geography skills are questionable at
Oh,
best.
they're bad, yeah.
I'll give you $1,500 right now if you can point in the direction of Florida.
Okay. Wait. So we're in California. Oh my God.
Again, this is the
That's
valedictorian.
north. That's north. Over there. Right?
No,
Oh.
you're not even close.
Where is Florida? Point to it.
Florida's there.
What? No, it's not.
Okay, everybody that's on the show gets a gift.
Mm,
You know the drill.
yeah.
But I was like, oh, how am I going to get her something that we have? Because it's like, am I going to just bring in her gross sweatpants and say, here,
Yeah.
continue to
Right.
wear these horrible things? But we still did it.
Okay.
We still got you something.
Interesting.
There you go.
This feels like a book.
Don't ruin it by guessing.
The prenup. Bound in leather.
I always joked about doing this. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So it's,
That's-
what does it say?
The prenup.
The prenup. It's our prenup.
Oh, wow.
I did it on nice paper.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember looking at that thing? Did you ever actually read our prenup?
My attorney made me like read some of it, and she really thought I wasn't taking it seriously.
You weren't.
Yeah.
I got away with murder in there.
Uh-huh.
Let me see this prenup. I haven't seen this.
It's funny.
Oh, man.
We can put it with the photo albums.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Oh, I thought we'd put it on our coffee table. Look at that. That's legit.
I was trying to find something
Look,
interesting.
by the way,
It doesn't really say interesting
every
stuff.
page has our initials.
Mhm.
We had initial every page. Oh, man. So many things are in here. That's beautiful. I'm going to sign this to you. What's your name?
Carly Hallam.
No, it's not. Not according to this bad boy. Here you go.
Thank you. This is very sweet.
Get it off my desk. You want me to rip that book up right now and void it the whole thing?
Nah, it's fine.
Do you think it's would hold up still?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
She seemed very concerned that certain things were in there.
Your
so
lawyer
it needs
said-
to hold up.
Said, and I quote, I cannot in good faith have you sign this.
Yes. And she told me that I will become accustomed to a certain lifestyle and that if we got divorced, I would need a certain amount of money
Mm-hmm.
or like I wouldn't be able to live.
My business manager forced me. They're like, all our clients have to do prenups and you can just put it on her. I guess technically I could have said, yeah, but I'm not going to do it. But I was like, I'll do it, whatever. Do most of your friends have prenups?
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Yeah.
Is the biggest reason you don't want to divorce me because you're scared who our children would pick in court?
I mean, they are very partial to you.
Why do you think that is? And who's the strict one?
Yeah, you.
I'm the strict one.
No, it's confusing because like our daughter will be like, Daddy, don't leave me. That's the new thing that she says. Daddy, don't leave me. Daddy, don't leave me. But you'll have just like yelled at her about something and then like, Daddy, don't leave me. And I'm like, I'm standing right here. Like, I will hug you and like pet your hair.
You obviously don't know how manipulation works.
Yeah.
I don't. And the thing is, I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I literally my entire.
Well, you went to work one day last week. It was a very big deal in the house.
I mean,
She was sad all day.
I work after she's asleep, and then I come here during nap time.
No, but
one
you
day
were
a
in
week.
Vegas. You were in Vegas.
I was gone for
So you
8
left.
hours.
And she told me that Daddy went to work, Daddy come home, Mommy can sit in chair until Daddy come home.
When's the last time you went to one of my comedy shows?
I caught the tail end of it when I was in Vegas a couple months ago.
All right. Does it live rent free in your mind that our son wanted to marry me instead of you?
I mean, I thought it was very sweet, but yeah, he wasn't like waffling or anything.
Who do you think our daughter wants to marry?
Probably you.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we have a nanny?
Some combination of my FOMO on missing out on our children's lives and your refusal to trust anyone.
You yell at me constantly about, this is why we have to have somebody to watch our kids.
But we don't.
I know.
So.
Do you think when you get older, you're going to be like, my one regret, I wish we would have had a nanny so we could have spent less time with our children?
I mean, I think that's probably an oversimplification of the matter, but.
I thought it was a good point on my side. What were the runner-up names for both of our children?
Our son, for a while, we were thinking of Otis. 100%, hold on. You were texting everyone, his name or Otis, to like your brother.
It was the made-up
to your
name was the
parents,
runner-up name.
And then that was not the runner-up. You liked the name Rigsby, which is just like a combination of letters. It's not a name. And I never liked that name.
But that was his alias. He had an
alias. That was
alias.
his alias at the hospital.
At the hospital, so
Otis was the
wouldn't
name
know.
that we actually thought about naming him, that we asked people which one
That's
they liked
the tractor.
more. Yeah, we didn't have that book then.
Everyone knows
We
about
weren't familiar
Otis the
with
tractor.
Otis the
I was
tractor.
familiar with that. I read.
And then our daughter's name was maybe going to be Indigo, which I now find very funny because I think it'd be really weird if her name was Indigo.
Yeah.
But I had already purchased letters for her nursery that said Indy, and I had to give them away to someone.
Who named both of our children? Both
You
names?
certainly named our daughter.
Oh, man.
You were like very aggressive about calling my stomach that, and so I eventually was like, I guess that's her name.
No, it's not. That's not even true because you had our daughter, and for like 2 days in the hospital,
Yeah.
she still wasn't
We didn't
named.
know what to name her.
And then
we
you started
asked the night nurses.
You started polling nurses.
Yeah.
And the one girl, I'd love for you to do an accent for her because she had some opinions.
Yeah.
Our kids go to public school. Did you want our kids to go to private school?
I went to public school. I'm not against public school, but once I had started like looking into private schools, I got very excited by them because I love school and they're so nice.
You're such a nerd. You've always been a nerd, and you still are a nerd. Like you,
Sure.
And a lot of people say they're nerds, but like you. So,
You don't think it's sad that one day you're just like, and now I'm done learning? Like,
it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You were obsessed with Broadway and musicals,
yes,
and now you're forcing our son to have your same passion.
it's working. I don't know if I'm forcing it. He's all about it.
And you guys are right now. We're the household's really big into Wicked.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But you, as much as you love musicals and Broadway, have the worst singing voice
Yes.
possibly in the world. I can't sing at all, but together, the two of us,
It's pretty bad.
it's so bad. And now our son thinks he is
He
really.
thinks he can sing.
He thinks
It's
he's
very
really
cute.
good.
Yeah.
There's no way we've created a good singer.
No, I don't think so.
By the way, why
Because
don't
he's taking piano lessons, and he told me the other day, like, that he's okay at piano, but what he's really good at is singing when he's playing the piano. And then last night he was walking around singing "Rewrite the Stars." And it sort of sounded like when I sing.
I love The Greatest Showman. People at home think, oh, you're just teasing your wife. She probably doesn't sing that big. Sing that big note in Wicked that people do, where you're supposed to let her. Dylan, get ready. There's a note.
It's at the end.
At the end of the
She's
movie.
like hovering.
Let me hear.
Okay, it goes like, ah! Like that.
It's just. How'd that feel, Dylan?
It was loud.
Yeah. What physical thing would you change about me?
Do your bowels count as physical?
No, that's innards.
I'm gonna give you long hair and put it in a bun.
Do you hate that I've been going bald for the past 20 years?
I don't hate it. I'm not sure how I'll feel if you, because like somewhat recently you're like, I'm just going to shave my head. And I was like, whoa, let's talk about that. This isn't just your decision.
Look at that. Pete and Eddie are sitting right over there. And you just make it sound like
Yeah,
they...
but that's who they are. I know you with hair.
Go on, what are you saying?
Just a couple of bald.
You guys are just bald men. That's who you are.
That's who you are. But it'd be cute if you were like surfer boy, bun hair.
I'm 50 years old.
That's okay in this town.
I'm not 50 yet. Oh, I can't wait to be 50.
What do you want to do for your birthday?
She always wants to plan something for my birthday, and I don't let her.
This is a very annoying thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then it's just going to be your birthday and it's going to feel like I didn't do anything for you. Except
Right.
I've been trying to like make something happen and then I'll like throw ideas out at you and you're like, no, that's horrible. It's my birthday.
That's right.
But then it can't just be your 50th birthday and like we're all just like sitting around like, oh,
We're
we
not.
made tacos.
No, we're not going to be eating tacos. I'm going to be eating a taco.
Oh boy.
Carly, I'll help your planet.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Eddie, you want to make another bet? You want to go double or nothing?
No,
Get you to Knott's
no,
Berry
Eddie,
Farm.
we will be planning a birthday. Even if it's just a dinner or something.
Yeah, I don't think anything special is going to happen.
Mm.
I'll let you know, though. I got some ideas.
Because like it's fun to surprise people, but not you make it like, oh, you've really inconvenienced me by like surprising me with something.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be
It's
stressed
like a
out.
weird.
I don't want to be stressed out
Well, I
about
wouldn't surprise you with something you wouldn't like. Like I know you.
Barely.
Okay.
You think you know me? You don't know me. What's my favorite color?
Aqua.
Wait, one of her friends texted me, hey, what's Carly's favorite color? And I just wrote, fuck off. Hey, what a favorite color? What were we, 6?
She was trying to buy me a necklace, a very cute necklace that had like little beads on it, and they had a bunch of color options.
But I was just like, I don't know what her favorite color. I think it's black.
He said gray, and then she was like, not gray, and then you said like light black or something like that.
Light black.
And she was like pink or
Dark
purple.
white.
Whatever. You also accused me in public 2 things of eating my words.
But then also saying things way too loud.
Right. And then when I talk about people in public, first of all, she says I eat my words because, you know how basketball players after games, when the 2 stars come talk to each other, Eddie, they have to go like this so that you don't see what they're saying. Well, when I'm out in public, I'm aware sometimes that people are listening. So I do a thing where I kind of just start to Jeff Dunham it. And
You
I'm
like-
like,
You like talking.
I don't do a lot of moving. I just like to let. And anyway, but then counter to that nonsense.
It's
when
fascinating that someone would do both of these things.
when there's somebody that I want to talk about or get infuriated by in public, she's like, they can flat out hear you.
So loud, you'll say what you have to say, like, so that they hear you. So I don't know how you decide in that moment if you're going to swallow the words you're about to say or shout them.
I feel like some people need to hear it. Just
I'm constantly telling you that you're talking too loud and everyone can
yeah,
hear
I'm
you.
constantly telling you you're talking too loud.
Well, there we go.
You don't wear a wedding ring.
That's true.
I just thought of another physical thing about you that
My
drives.
moles?
No.
Oh.
Everybody has moles, and she has some moles. Sometimes I'll be honest with you. I'll be like, oh, this mole looks like it's turning a little black. You should have it checked out just so that they cut it off. I get that that's probably wrong. Is that gaslighting? I still don't know what gaslighting is.
Mhm.
But the issue, you have a few moles, much like Rachel McAdams. Doesn't she have a big old huge mole?
Mhm.
Anyway, you have some on your back, and you like your back aggressively scratched
Mhm.
with your nails. Like she's like, scratch it, scratch. And then I'm like, I'm hitting the moles.
I got those ones, the compromising ones removed.
No, there's still
so that you would
one.
scratch.
There's still one there that I sometimes get, I clip, and it just gives me the willies. Because I was on TV, I get invited to things that I never want to go to, even though I assume you would love to get dressed up and be fancy. Is that one of the things that you would change about me?
Yeah. Not just like the things you would be invited to, but just like your willingness to like do stuff. There's like things I would, if I were to change something, I would want you to accept invitations to things and like want to do stuff.
But was there going to be a but at the end of that or no?
Nope.
No.
That's why I have to bring our child to the Broadway shows with me because you won't go.
But you
Just
have
like don't do stuff.
But you have no problem using the name to make sure that we get better seats at things, free tickets,
That's
etc.
true. Mm-hmm.
Why
Yes.
don't you try that with Halam?
Mm-hmm.
See what kind of doors that opens.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think I think is your best quality? Ooh,
My
that's
butt and my sense of humor.
Oh, man. You got the order
and,
right.
And how good of a mom I am.
Yeah,
Are those the 3?
you're a great mother.
Mm.
But you know, like and maybe it's the whole the Trump world that we live in now, where everybody's like, where you state these, you're the greatest, the biggest. People, when anybody says that, I go, she's the greatest mother. I'm like, you're an amazing mother, but there's probably no way you're the greatest mom.
Probably not. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that's absurd. But you do a bang up job.
Thanks.
You're an amazing mother. I think that's the reason. People always talk about marriages work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for 9 years, I've put no effort into this.
Oh,
Just so you know.
okay.
I'm being honest. I haven't. It hasn't been work. It's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Loved every minute of it. It's not like, we had to get through that trying time. But I think that, I was content to not get married. But then when I met you, I was like, I'll get married to this person. It wasn't scary at all. And the same with having children. Like, I can have kids with this lady because no matter what I do to screw the kids up, she'll offset it. Now, if you died, that would be the worst part about you dying. Is not the grief, but just knowing that, like, I got to replace you quickly so the kids have somebody, not as good.
Mother
but
figure.
You think you would remarry?
No, I wouldn't marry.
You don't think you'd ever remarry?
I don't think so.
Huh. What if I went today?
I mean, I'd probably be in relationships, but I don't know if I would get
40.
married. I'm not 40.
So you wouldn't remarry. I know I wouldn't remarry, but I'm old as dirt, so who cares? I remember one time when I was real young, I was hosting Loveline. Did you ever listen to Loveline when you were a kid?
I mean, I know what it is, but no, not really.
Yeah, I was filling in for Adam Carolla. What a weird trajectory our careers went.
It's like what, you and Dr. Drew?
Me and Dr. Drew. But Dr. Drew was telling me, when you get into like the right relationship, you can stay sexually attracted, for forever. And I just remember looking at him going, bullshit. I was like, that's got to wear.
But now,
off.
do you feel like you could be attracted to me when I'm
Yeah.
70?
I don't know about 70. I guess, but I'll be 90.
You're not 20 years older than me.
No, I think so. Do you say that we're together for 9 years, or do you put our whole dating 5
I would do
years?
the whole thing, probably.
Yeah. We're like at 15 years. Oh, we've made it this far. Do you think that this won't age well? And when we have some big split up, people are going to like see?
Like the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively footage where everyone's watching it to see like, what were they really thinking?
Whose side are you on in that one?
It's messy. No one looks good.
Well, I'm always against the victim.
Blame them.
If I have to pick sides, I blame the victim. That's what I've learned. Oh no. Don't let Lena hear that. I asked this of your father, and we joked about it, but I'll ask it of you. Who do you think between the two of us loves the other person more? Do you think you love me more, or do you think I love you more?
I think you love me more, or you just are better at showing love maybe than I am.
It's the first part of that. What are you saved as on my phone?
Best idea ever?
Best idea ever. That's why I typed that in when we were like working together. I'm like, here we go. Oh, my wife.
My husband.
Do you like when people say my wife? That even seems like a little bit of possession. Do I introduce you as my wife ever? This is my wife, Carly.
Yeah.
I say that?
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother you?
That's normal.
All right, that's normal. I didn't know. I don't know the rules, man. I'm just trying to follow the rules. All right. Carly, thank you for being on the podcast. Now get over here and give me a big old smooch.
Oh, okay.
Well, so quick.
Oh, okay.
There's no passion in this. She just laughs at me. Guys.
Try again.
No. I'll give you. Tosh Show. Woo. Oh, man. I want to thank Carly for being on the show. We edited out about 48 seconds of just hot, steamy love. I mean, good grief. Once her lips hit my lips, you can't stop me. I'm going the distance. Ooh, sorry, guys.
No worries.
I mean, that's pornography, what
Yeah.
they watched.
Yeah.
Carl, he's seen it a million times. But these guys, they were like, holy cow. The sparks were flying. I'm surprised this table, which I'll be honest with you right now, reeks to high heaven. But good to know that it can hold such chicanery.
Such passion.
Oh, man. Well, I thank Carly for being on the show. What a trooper. Pretending to be my wife so that people at home can be like, I thought he was gay, but he's not. He has a wife. You dumb sheep. It'd be neat if we got divorced, like within a week. Anyway, we're doing great. By the way, we had a tragedy in our family recently. I feel like I should share it. Ava, our little dog, our senior dog, who's almost 15 years old, she passed away. Do you say she passed away when you have them put down? Or do you say you have them put down? I still say passed away because it sounds, she's dead. And I had to explain that to my kids. And that's not fun. My son made me a beautiful card.
Oh.
Yeah, and he drew a photo of Ava underfoot because Carly was always stomping on her, accidentally, of course. That's not how she went.
Right.
I felt like the card was like, look, you don't have to worry about this anymore. Because Carly would always be so nasty about it. Anyway, she passed away. Not the worst experience. You know, it was definitely time. It was probably a year past the time. She'd been, pretty rough for a few years, and we did it, and it was sad, and I held her, and that's it. Pain-free. I hope someday that somebody can do that to me.
I got you.
Good.
Eddie will do it.
That's what I want. I want Eddie to put me down at some point.
Deal goes both ways.
Sure, I'll put you down tonight.
I feel fine right now.
No, you want to do it now. You want to do it when you feel good.
I actually feel better this week than I did last week.
No, I kept waiting for her to be like, oh. I also wanted to know what's the latest someone has pulled out of not doing it. Because he gives him the first needle to basically sedate him. And then I should have just he's like, okay, I'll give you 10 minutes in here before I come back. I should have just left. And just let her have a great sleep. No, I didn't. Well, it was, and people always like, oh, what's better? Her brother was Castro. He went really quick. Cancer just walloped him. And that, I'll be honest with you, that was so much better. It hit harder.
Yeah.
But 2 years of a dog struggling is too long. You have a Band-Aid. You want to rip a Band-Aid off quick. Imagine trying to slowly pull a Band-Aid off for 2 years. That'd be impossible. You have to go so slow.
Right.
To time that out?
No way.
Anyway, I missed her. I don't get to replace her though, right, Carl? Because as soon as I came home, what did I come home to after putting Ava down? I came home to you and Potato just shoving the water bowl over. Doesn't matter. All right, let's get to some plugs. toshshowstore.com. Buy some merch, get some hats, whatever. Eddie's tour. My tour, come see me do stand-up. Come to Minneapolis. Where else am I going to be? Omaha, Kansas City, Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois, New York, New Jersey. Oh, and don't forget Philly. I'm going to Philly, the Lisbon of the East Coast of America. God, I look forward to Philly. Philly crowds are the best. All right, it's time for the free plug. Hit the free plug music. That was Ava's favorite song. There's a word for that when everything reminds you of something. Is it lonely? This week's free plug is for the measles vaccine. Head to your doctor's office or local health clinic and get a shot to help prevent the spread of a virus that was previously eradicated in the United States 25 years ago. Now, you might be asking yourself, but Daniel, can we really trust scientists? Yeah, you can. Well, now you might be thinking, but Daniel, my body's a temple and I only put natural. You shut the fuck up, hippie. Get the jab. You don't know shit about fuck. You're going to get your kid's entire class infected. But wait, there's more. If you act right now, not only do you get the measles vaccine, but we're throwing in mumps and rubella. That's 3 viral vaccines for the price of 1, or none if you have any insurance whatsoever, even the real shitty ones. They'll cover it. That's the MMR vaccine. Tell them that dipshit RFK Jr. sent you. See you next week. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.